You're listening to The Final Note, live with Alex Vincent.
Coming at you live from a safe distance.
Are we all?
Whoa!
Oh my god.
Is it working?
What is happening?
Oh yeah.
We are all out of sync.
It's only been a couple months here.
We're dusting the cobwebs off.
Yeah.
I'm staticky.
All right, hold on.
Oh,
I
yeah?
got you.
Mine sounds
That was
good.
mind blowing.
Yeah, I think we're good now.
Blowing. No, I'm still kind of
You're
cracking.
still staticky? All right,
Still
hold on.
cracking. Crack-a-lacking like a Florida cracker.
How about now?
It feels much better.
Feels
Joe's-
much better.
Joe's dropping the hard stuff.
I am.
Guys, we're live for the first time in a long time.
And thank God to be alive.
Yeah, we're live and alive.
Live and alive,
thank God
baby.
for that.
We
Man,
are, I guess.
yeah, the world's gone fucking nuts since we last been on the air.
Dude, it's like exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're living in a surreal time right now.
Absolutely.
It's like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the worst plague movie that I've seen because those usually only last an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is last.
This
10
is like the
months.
most boring ever.
You know, I was thinking about I've been watching a lot of Naked and Afraid, right? Because you know, they have it worse than all of us. So it's easy. Like watching people partying on the beach doesn't feel great. And watching people suffering in the woods kind of makes me feel a little better in these moments. But
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so I've been watching a bunch of Naked and Afraid, and then I found this other show that was on the History Channel called Alone, which is kind of the same thing except they have clothes and they have like 10 items instead of one. But it's like 10 different people. This has been on for years, I guess, but I just found it. But it's like 10 different people.
What's it on Netflix?
It's on the History Channel.
Dude, I have to see it.
And Alone is 10 people go out there. They're on different parts of Vancouver Island and Patagonia and Mongolia. But most of the seasons are on Vancouver Island. And they're separated. These 10 people are separated by many miles from each other. They don't find each other. And it's a competition. Whoever can stay out there the longest wins $500,000.
Fuck.
Nice.
And I was thinking about that and watching that show a lot and how they're all suffering. And the interesting thing about that show compared to like Naked and Afraid, which is 21 days, they don't know how long they're going to be out there. They don't know how long the suffering is going to go on for.
Because they don't know who's still out there.
No, and when someone goes home, they're not notified. They don't know. They don't know whether it's still 9 other people or they're down to the last person. The first season, the guy well, I don't want to say it in case you watch it, but
I'll watch it anyways.
yeah, it was interesting. But what the correlation to this that it made me think of is the unknown of how long the suffering will continue. You know,
Yeah.
I mean that's really where everyone finds themselves right now. Whether you know it's just fear of someone that you love getting sick, or of you yourself getting sick, or you know the massive economic hit that you're taking by. You know, I mean, I have a small business that is for creative people. It's a recording studio. That's kind of extra money. That's not essential, you know.
Yeah.
I'm
Or
taking
being
a huge
an
hit.
actor or a writer.
Well, I mean, the conventions that I missed, forget about it. I flew up to New Jersey for Monster Mania and found out 4 hours after I landed that they canceled it.
Oh, man.
It was
That's
right
brutal.
at that clutch of that time, you know, like March 12th.
So what'd you
Like,
do?
I stayed with my dad for a couple days, and then I flew home.
Yeah.
I changed my flight to a few days early because we were all worried that, you know, we wouldn't be able to get on a plane.
Yep.
And so, yeah, so they canceled it last minute. A couple other shows that I was going to do canceled. And, you know, that's rough. I have a couple more shows coming up. July, Days of the Dead, who knows?
I don't
You
think
know?
any of that stuff's going to be open, man. I really don't.
It doesn't feel like it, I'll tell you that
No.
much.
They, we're not even at the, like, worst of it.
Well, so Joe, you are kind of on the front line. By the way, if you're listening for the first time, I'm Alex Vincent, This is Joe Davidson.
Hello.
And in the other room, since we're practicing social distancing, Mikey fucking Wells is in the other room quarantined. Because I figured out of the three of us, you'd probably take the most chances. So we had to put you in the other room.
Why you got to call me out like that?
Because it's accurate.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, on the other side of things, though, Joe, my life hasn't changed much. I am a homebody. I stay home.
Mine
I come
too.
to the studio. But you have a bit of a frontline view with this because your wife Leanne is a frontline nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She is.
yeah. Well, you're gonna discuss how
Yeah.
all this information about what's going on.
Yeah.
You do have a view into this that's different because
Yeah. The hospitals, man, what they're not saying.
yeah.
It's crazy. It's this secrecy of, patients who are actually inflicted with the virus and those who are presumed inflicted. And then there's the ones who are dying, the ones who have died,
Yeah.
and the ones they're not telling you about who have died. And the people who are infected, doctors and nurses and hospital staff are all screwed. They're all screwed. There's not enough PPE in any of the hospitals for anybody anywhere. There's not enough ventilators. There's not enough beds.
Yeah. Well, these numbers are skewed, first of all, by the fact that most people haven't been tested.
Right. 95% of the population, I think, has not been tested.
And, the way I was looking at it is that these death figures, if someone dies, that's much more easy to obviously determine, to get a statistic together of how many people that have died from this. But you suspect that those numbers aren't accurate either, huh?
No. The stuff you read in the paper, like tomorrow when it says, let's just say it says 1,200 people have died.
Yeah.
Assume it's 1,500.
Yeah.
Assume it's more than what they're telling you.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not less.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
And, there's a few things about that are interesting. I mean, when you see these numbers of 250,000 people infected or whatever it's up to now in the country, and you think about how many that haven't been tested in relation to the death numbers, I mean, there's one way of looking at it where it makes you feel like, well, the mortality rate is lower than people think because more people have had it than we know about, and possibly by a lot. Probably, if any numbers are deflated, if you will, the cases would be more so than the deaths, and that does make you look at the mortality rate different. But there are people that are, now that it's starting to 800-900 people dying a day.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, it's really going to start
1,000
going
people.
up.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. Italy lost the most on record, which was 996 in a day. That's 1,000 people
I think we
dying.
had 900 a day just the other day. Just
That's
yesterday or
1,000 people
something.
dying a
Yeah.
day in your neighborhood. And people still, I feel like people still don't believe it's a thing.
Well, that's the other thing
I
about
talk
it.
to people and they're like, it's just a thing. It's not real.
Well, that's the other part of it
No,
that
it
is
is
just
real.
kind of
Flu-
unbelievable. And the comparisons to the flu and to all these other things, people aren't considering so much to make those comparisons because unlike something that has been around season after season, year after year, this is brand new. The numbers are multiplying exponentially within, it's not necessarily the fear of where we are right now as much as it is the fear of where this is going to go. If there's 7,000 reported cases in Florida with 21 million people living here, it's less than 1%. It can lull you into a bit of, reassurance about it. But the fact is that we don't know how many cases it are, and we don't know a month from now where it's going to be.
Yeah, because it's a 2-week or 3-week gestation if you get signs at all that you have it. Some people don't get signs. And now it's affecting the brain. It affects some people's brains
Yeah.
and not their lungs.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that you went through this already? You think you had it?
Yeah, back in February.
Because I heard a lot of people have said that from December, January, February
Yep.
that they think they had it.
Yeah, in January, late January, well, exactly, I know the date, February 11th, because I was just going through my text messages trying to see when I got sick. And, this thing came on. I felt great in the morning. Let's just, say 8 o'clock, I felt great, took the kids to school. 9 o'clock, I was like, man, I don't feel good. And by 11 o'clock, I was in bed. And then I had a huge fever. I remember the fever broke in the bathroom when I was vomiting.
Wow. I mean, it could have been a number of things. Since you didn't get tested, we obviously don't know.
Yeah.
But
the reason why we think we had it is because it originally hit a friend of mine first. Then we assume it had to go from her to me, to Leanne, to the kids.
Yeah.
Then to the woman's husband.
Right.
And then, because he was making fun of all us because he hadn't gotten sick.
Yeah.
And then he was the last one to get it, and that was at the end of February, early March. And it has all the exact symptoms that we're reading for COVID. It was exactly all the same. It came out of nowhere. It hit us really hard. We couldn't breathe. There was a lot of respiratory issues.
Yeah.
Headaches, fever, vomiting. And then it was gone as fast as it hit us. And it ran through us fast. Within a week, we were all sick.
That's another thing that's interesting about this is how different people's symptoms are from person to person. It seems like some people are having, they said 25% of people have next to no symptoms, maybe no symptoms, yet they're still contagious.
Yeah.
Which obviously makes
But how
the
do you
spread
know?
of
How do
this,
they know that? Because if you don't have signs, who's getting tested?
Yeah.
Who are they testing who doesn't have signs? You have to have a fever.
Well, I imagine
at
there are
St.
some
Anthony's in order to get
circumstances. There are some circumstances like the NBA, for example, where everyone
Fuck
got
that.
tested.
Start testing
you know.
the police and start testing the nurses and doctors.
Yeah.
Those are the people we're going to need in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. NBA players are home in their homes now. They're not going anywhere.
No.
It is the people that are out there on the front line every day.
The elite celebrities, Hollywood, that when they got the sign that this was like a real fucking problem, they all left. And they're all secluded in their mansions or on their yachts.
Yeah.
Bill Gates is going out on a yacht for like 6 months.
Yeah.
He had a yacht.
How could you blame anyone who has
He
the
had it
means to do
built
that? I would as well.
in case there was a pandemic.
Yeah.
Bill Gates had a yacht built in case, well, maybe there might be a pandemic next week.
Well, he said back in 2015 that this was definitely coming. He did like a TED Talk kind of thing where he discussed this almost identically to what ended up happening. Which is knowing that people did see this coming. I read another article that there were people at the head of government losing sleep over this last year. So it does seem amazing to me that, especially with
our governor confirmed that it was at the Super Bowl in Miami in January.
So that's interesting. You mentioned that earlier to me today. What do you know about that?
He said he believes that it ran through the Super Bowl in Miami. That's why Miami's so bad right now. It's because it had to have been there during the Super Bowl. They backtracked it. If subject A is dying and you get it for this long before it kills you, how far back do we have to go to know that subject A and where he was and when he got it?
Yeah.
So they just do the math, and then they're like, where were you, February 28th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
Hopefully that's not him just talking with his gut. I don't have much faith in DeSantis in general, and he definitely dropped the ball.
That was done by a board.
Yeah. Okay.
That realizing that's where it had to have been at the Super Bowl. That's why I know we got it on the 11th. It was out in October of 2019.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people were at the Super Bowl? It would just make sense that some of that was going on.
Yeah. And there are people from all over the world, fly in for that.
So that doesn't shock me in the least.
No, it doesn't. But it's interesting. I mean, that could have been one of the hubs of the breakout of it. But everyone's saying where this came from and what the cause is. At this point, you got to just realize that none of us know shit. Like,
No.
it's all guesswork by everyone involved. I mean, even the people at the head of this seem to be guessing at some level. This concept that it came from eating bats in China.
Yeah. No.
I can't say that it didn't, and I can't say that it did, and I don't think many people can, if anyone. I feel like everyone would have to be guessing at some point.
I feel like a lot of theories that I've been reading on and watching YouTube videos on lead to this. I don't know if I believe it or not, but this government conspiracy to brought on from China to get rid of their elderly.
Yeah, I heard that. I mean, I hear that, the U.S. made a bioweapon that they released in China and thought, I don't know, that it wouldn't get to us. That doesn't seem to make much sense to me. Then there's the 5G theory that people think this isn't a virus at all, that 5G is causing radiation poisoning, and they're lying about it and just telling people that. I mean, some of these things are pretty preposterous.
But are they?
That's
it's-
that is kind of my point, is that we don't know.
We don't know what it
we
is,
really don't
and
know anything.
someone comes up with an idea, we think it's outlandish, and then what if that turns out to be the truth? What if it is the 5G towers
You would
radiating cancer?
Well, you would think that. I mean, it's not acting like cancer, and you would think that
No, I
scientists
understand,
know the
but I'm just
genealogy or whatever the fucking word is.
Does anyone know the
for-
statistics on whether or not like people that are jacked, tan, and all roided up are getting sick?
Yeah. I think you're just as susceptible as everyone else, Mikey, if that's what you're asking.
I don't think so.
I think that, something that I've heard said a lot is that this is the grand equalizer, that it really doesn't matter how well off you are.
Well, here's what I think too. I was explaining to someone my theory, and my theory is that the Earth is hot, and she's really angry,
yeah.
and shit's gonna get bad if she doesn't do something. So the only way to get the fleas off her back, or these little fucking batteries that are running around all the time, creating more batteries, creating things that create more batteries,
Yeah.
she's got to get rid of some of them in order for. So since this has happened, have you read up on the fact like the ozone layer is better?
Of course,
that
yeah.
The Earth is cooling.
Yeah.
Because all these hot bodies are dropping dead.
Well,
So the next big thing is this is what I think is the Great Wash, right? That's what I'm going to call it. It's the Great Wash, and it's coming. It's basically what Noah happened to Noah. I think there's this plague's going to hit us.
So I should get my floaties.
You should get I don't know, but I think there's going to be like this massive like hurricane. I feel like there's going to be a giant, maybe not on us, but somewhere there's going to be a giant.
I mean, this
problem.
could be the hurricane. This could be that issue. Yeah,
This could be.
My mom watches a lot of those like prediction videos for people
Yeah.
that predict things. And first of all, most of you probably know that like Sylvia Brown was spot on with this. She said there'd be a respiratory illness in 2020. She died like years back, but she said pretty much exactly that this would happen the way it's happening.
No, I didn't know that.
And she also said that it would go away as quick as it came, like as suddenly as it came. So that there will be a time where it's going to go away. She also said it would come back in 10 years. But there are all people making all kinds of predictions about where this is going to put us and how this is going to change things. And some of them are more positive than others, and all of them, I guess, have to be taken with,
A grain of salt.
yeah, I mean, they are predictions, but some stuff has been pretty accurate regarding this.
Yeah,
It
what's
is
the
interesting
weirdest-
when you
what's
think
the
about
weirdest thing you heard as to why.
as to why what, like why this is happening or what
Yeah.
it is. Well, nothing really that weird. I mean, kind of just different opinions about the expectancy, like length of this and how many people will die, and
Okay, the 5G tower thing's pretty fucking weird.
It is, I think
That might
I
be
think
the
the
weirdest
difference
thing.
between radiation and I don't see how some would be more exposed. I mean, clearly this is passing person to person. That's not, radiation doesn't work that way. Like, and this is
Yeah.
clearly passing from person to person. That can't be denied.
It's like
There's all
it
kinds of
follows.
rumors. I heard a rumor that Tom Hanks died on March 17th, and that they just don't want to tell the world because he's such a beloved person that it would scare the shit out of too many people. And
Where'd you hear that?
it's that fucking. I don't follow this, but I saw other people mentioning that like this is what Q told them. Maybe this was a Q thing, or it's
Q? What the hell's Q?
Oh gosh, that'll take an hour to explain. But
Explain it.
it's this. Mikey, you know Q, right?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Really? QAnon, QAnonymous is this deep-rooted conspiracy theorist people
I've heard of that.
that believe that someone from the Trump administration, maybe Trump himself, maybe someone real close to him, is feeding through the dark web different hints and answers about what's really going on, and almost everything that I've heard has been completely outlandish and ridiculous. And
Like what?
oh, just stuff going
Tom
back
Hanks-
to
the Tom
yeah.
Hanks
I
thing
mean,
seems
it was a
crazy.
lot of political stuff about the deep state and pedophiles and Trump, being like the hero to everything. And I mean, I can't like totally elaborate on it all that much because at the surface it just seems beyond ridiculous to me. I mean, I did see this one thing that Q had posted some picture from Air Force One, so that's why people think that he or she is actually someone high level up in government.
Makes sense.
Hey, it's a rabbit hole. You're welcome to go down, but I can tell you that most of the things that they said were pretty ridiculous. So
it sounds like.
but this idea that Tom Hanks died, I guess, is because he didn't make a video thing saying anything since he's been back, and people are calling bullshit on some of the photos they posted. My point was not that I think Tom Hanks is dead. I don't believe that. But everyone is running with everything that they hear right now. And I don't know whether it's out of fear or boredom or uncertainty, but it's in a world that people were running with headlines already, they're getting even more inclined to do so now.
I think that we have proven time and time again that one of our biggest fears is this dystopia or even a utopia that is run by the government, right? I mean, we got 1984, we got Logan's Run. It's been through the years that the oldest stories are of this government controlling you or your society, and to watch out for that because you can't have the government controlling you, and once that happens you're gonna it's over.
Yeah.
So our biggest fear we've been feeding ourselves is this government taking control and telling us how to live our lives. All out of fear of we don't want to be told what to do. We want to be humans. We have our free will. If you believe in angels and shit, you got we don't want to be locked down and contained and told what to do. So we just exacerbate this whole thing we got. This fear of this dystopia where the government's going to tell us when we can eat and when we can shit and when you go outside.
Yeah.
And right now, they have to because we're idiots. We don't understand how science works. The majority of us are not scientists or doctors. And we are in fear right now that we're going to lose all. I hear people, we're going to lose all our rights. No, we're not. Shut up.
Oh, I know.
They're just trying to contain us so we don't get the rest of the fucking monkeys who can talk sick.
Well, that's certainly how I see it, and I think that there are people that take that to the extreme. This fear of a government takeover of their lives.
No one wants
whether
that.
it's on the small version or whether you're collecting ammo and weapons because you think you're going to have a showdown with the United States government someday.
No, it's not going to be.
At what point are they encroaching on your liberties, though? Is a good question.
Well, to save your life, I think they should be allowed.
I think that this is the defensiveness.
You need to explain that more.
I think the defensiveness and fear out of exactly what Joe's talking about losing their rights to the government, puts people in a position where they're forced to or inclined to question the motives behind it and assign some sort of nefarious intent to it, where we may very well be living in a case right now where it's the only option. I mean, I think the only way to really stop this.
So, are you saying that the only option is to take away people's liberties? Is that what you're saying?
On a temporary basis
if
to
you're
stop
go,
the spread of something like
Mikey,
this?
Man,
they might have to do that. Yeah,
if you're
they might have to.
If you're going to go to the park with your 3 kids, I'm speaking as a father.
Okay,
I'm going to go to the park tomorrow with my 3 kids. This shit lives on metal.
Yeah,
for days.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
So don't
very
go to the
specifically.
Park. Don't go to the park.
What are you
man.
referring to?
Find some other shit to do.
Are you saying I can't go for a drive?
No,
after
you
10
can go
o'clock
for a
at night?
drive. Go for a drive.
Yeah,
You
well,
can
I do
that.
think that they would have to be, especially to try to avoid people jumping to these
Mass
harsh
hysteria.
conclusions and hysteria about the whole thing. They would have to be uber specific about
Yeah.
what can happen, what can't happen. The only other way to combat this is to get these, use that Defense Production Act to force companies to mass produce. If there's 350 million people, then we need close to 1 billion tests that you can take at home that give you instant, relatively instant results that are dependable and trustworthy. And, you got to ship out a couple per every member of a household, and everyone has to take it. Like, that's where the media's incessant coverage of things can drive people crazy, and I do understand that. But there are things like that when a message has to be driven home so intensely that people follow it, that it is the ally in this. I mean, if this is what the scientists and doctors think is the only explanation of really locking this down, instead of like a 30-day half-assed quarantine thing, you really got to lock it down real tight for I don't know. That's the other thing is
6 weeks.
It seems some people are testing
6
positive
weeks.
a month later still.
Yeah, 6
and are they
weeks.
still contagious at that
They
point?
need to lock it down, shut it all down. Everything. No delivery. Fuck that. You're not getting delivery food. No.
Yeah.
Sorry. That could be contaminated. The
6
driver
weeks.
could
6
be
weeks
contaminated.
might be too much time for the mental capacity of
It doesn't matter. It has to
many
be.
millions of people in
And,
this
well,
country to handle.
Then you risk going out and getting sick and dying. So
Yeah.
fuck it.
Well, that's why I think now when you talk about the freedoms, if someone from the government showed up at my door and said, we have, how many people live in this house? 2. Okay, we have 2 tests that we need to administer to you right now to see if you have COVID or not.
Yeah. Sold.
Now, I'm not saying that they would then rip you out of your house if you do. Obviously, there's got to be a different answer. I mean, the house arrest system works.
Yeah, they can just
there are
stuck
things
here.
you can do, and are
Don't leave.
those extreme breaches of our freedom? Yeah, they are. But when we don't know
They're not.
how I mean, they are to a lot of people, but especially when you
It's
can't
pretty
make
crazy.
money, especially when you can't make money.
It's only people who say that it's a breach of their social rights only have something to hide. If you want to come to my house and knock on my door,
It depends
and give
how
us
much it depends how much they're losing by this. Like a $1,200 check that might come in May is not going to convince someone that for 6 weeks they can't sneak off and try to earn some money somehow, because they're going to. Now can the National Guard on all the streets convince people? Yeah, probably, but I mean, I certainly hope it doesn't come down to that.
Yeah, that's
but-
kind of my point is, like, at what point is your your liberties being infringed upon? Even going to a park with your children. Like,
Well, look.
There's a lot of
here's
lot to go over here.
here's one way to look at it. Okay, someone writes these laws in the beginning. Someone has said long ago in this country that if you have several grams of cocaine in your pocket, and we catch you doing this once, we catch you doing it another time, your rights are completely gone. We're sticking you in a box for the next 3 years.
Mhm.
There have been situations where unjustly people have lost their freedoms in this country.
Agreed.
So if this is a situation where the greater good of trying to keep millions of people alive that are following the guidelines, yes, that's why this does have the potential to get a really strong hand involved.
And I'm not afraid of that. I think if that's what it comes down to save everybody's lives.
I'm not afraid of that, other than a fear of maybe how some will react to it.
That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of the idiots who are going to be thinking that there's a war breaking out, and they're going to start firing at National Guard or police or teachers or nurses, whoever they're shooting at. People will shoot at anybody.
People seem to get offended when I quote George Carlin on this, but it's just simple math. Half of the people in this country are below average intelligence.
Yeah.
I mean, mathematically, there's a
Yeah.
middle, and half of them are less than that, and some to more extent than another. and some just don't, have the opportunity to make the right decisions ever, for one reason or another. So it's scary when you think that fear can make people do crazy things. So we got to really hope it doesn't
People are
come
killing
to
themselves
that,
in New York, man. They're jumping off of buildings.
Well, they were doing that anyway. But,
Of course.
Yeah.
But now it's just exacerbating because everyone's outside.
I saw that, on one of those memes that said this many people died from this cause and that cause
Right.
and this cause and that cause. Well, they should realize when saying something like that, this is an accelerant to all of those reasons.
Yeah.
All of those things.
Yeah.
Suicides would go up from something
Yeah,
like
you
this.
can't
especially
say that like, oh, well, people die from cancer, not, more than COVID.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But this is wiping out the world.
Yeah.
Cancer isn't killing 800 people a day.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
it is. Maybe it is, but I don't know.
Well, it is.
Is it?
It's
I could be wrong.
it's the fear of where it's going, but it's also 800. It's not killing 500 people in the same hospital
Right, exactly.
in one day. You
Right.
know, it's the
Right.
over wear and tear of the system that once it breaks,
Yeah.
it could get really crazy. I mean, I certainly am usually an optimist, and I do hope that
How do you feel about Revelations?
from the Bible. You mean?
Yeah.
I don't. I don't know if we should.
feel
get in-
very
I don't know if we should get
indifferent
into
about
my opinions about that.
Well, because here's another theory too that I think is like just interesting.
Yeah.
Right. The 7 trumpets are supposed to sound right at the beginning of the Revelations.
Right.
Well, if you think about it, who's in office?
A Trump, is that your point?
Yeah,
A
Trump and Pence. Their last names together spell trumpets.
Sort of.
You're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. But listen.
Oh, are you saying 10? Like Pence? Pence is 10 in
Oh yeah,
a
10
language,
pence.
isn't it?
Yeah,
10 pence.
Yeah, pence. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have Trump
Spelled
and
differently,
Pence,
though.
right?
But,
So you can maybe pull it out and say that's the horn sounding. These is Trump and Pence. They are starting the end of times, end of days. Revelation's happening. Now we have this plague has broke out and it's killing all over the world, and there's supposed to be a mass exodus. Well, America just released how many thousands of prisoners because they don't want them getting sick in prison. The Pinellas County prison let out 500 people the other day. 500 people got released into the city who have been in jail for 5 years.
well, in many of those cases, that's...
So now you have like this exodus, right?
Yeah.
So this mass exodus. Now we need like a 7-headed monster and a fucking ukulele. I don't know what else in the Revelations, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So it's just I love playing with that idea too. That
Well,
maybe
you're
this
also
is
you're
part
also
of
a
it.
creative writer, and you
Yeah.
do look for the
Oh,
story
man,
and
I
things.
look
So
for all of it,
you're
yeah.
a guy who can sit down and write a screenplay in
Yeah.
an hour and a half.
Dude, I have like 10 already for this pandemic.
I have a couple of really good ideas.
I thought one we could shoot right in here, man.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need one
Yeah.
that we could just shoot for nothing.
Yeah. a dude gets trapped inside a single room, which could be your sound room over there. And it's just his going insane and all this weird shit that happens. And you could do all kinds of weird shit. He could meet celebrities or he could like crawl through holes. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of
Yeah.
So pretty much the life I'm living right now.
Yeah.
Another idea too. That
24-hour LSD trip. I was in SLD.
Yeah.
Slow learning disability.
So, do you South of Central?
Oh shit. Yeah.
South of Central.
I didn't know we were going to talk about that.
Yeah, we might
Makes
as well.
sense.
I'm going to segue off of COVID for a bit. We'll probably swing back
Yeah.
to it.
South of Central premieres tomorrow at 8 o'clock on YouTube, man. You're a big part of it. Mikey's a part of it. It's great, man. It's,
I made the cut.
Yeah, you're in it.
What
Sweet.
episode are we in?
Oh man,
We don't know yet?
It's gonna be like 9 or 10.
Yeah, okay.
There's about I think we're gonna end up with 12 to 15 episodes. We're trying to keep them between 2 and 4 minutes.
Yeah.
We're not sure how many episodes we got just yet, but we got about 4 done, and we know where we need to be, and
The character I play is if I had grown up to become a stone drug dealer.
right. You're Alex
Yeah.
Vincent
Yeah.
playing Alex Vincent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vincent? Did you say my
Vincent.
name differently?
Yeah, yeah. It's spelled VIN apostrophe CNT.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So you,
Okay.
but you're basically yourself.
Yeah. I look a little different.
What I'm hoping is that this picks up a kind of a following. Maybe we get someone to put some money behind it, and we can do a second season. Then we'll really work with our characters.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have a lot more fun with it. We'll get a little darker like Sonny did, you know, like...
I was thinking in general, Joe, that we, all these years that we've done things together, we haven't actually made a project together yet.
No, not really.
know?
Yeah.
Like, because we both do kind of all the same things.
Yeah.
I mean, I do a little. I know audio a little more than you know audio, and you know video more than I know video.
A little bit.
Yeah, you do, and editing for sure.
Yeah.
But we both write, and
Yep.
we both can act a little. So
Yeah. Sometimes.
sometimes.
If there's money behind it.
I was going to be joining an acting class, but
Yeah, what happened? What's going on with the other
You
thing?
know, it all fell apart. I don't know what's happening with that. I don't even know if I'm involved.
Oh,
you know?
man.
It's the number one question in my life.
Yeah.
He was asking about the TV series, which I don't even know. I have no idea. I didn't know. In fairness, I didn't know what was
Dude,
happening
the
in
remake
January either.
The remake just
But,
bombed.
I didn't know what was happening in January, and I don't know what's happening.
Why do you think the remake bombed?
Because it was a terrible idea.
What? But was it because of Audrey Plaza?
I don't know. I
Is
didn't
that
see.
her
I didn't
name?
see the movie, so I
doubt
couldn't
it was
tell you.
her.
I didn't see the movie, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I didn't
but
see it either.
yeah, I think they should have made their own characters and told that story instead, and named it something else, and
Yeah.
it would have been its own interesting kind of movie. I guess potentially, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sammy. Anything else would have worked.
But the TV series is still supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to be involved in it, and I don't know if this pushed things back or changed things. Last I heard, it's still happening though. So I'm still looking forward to reading it. The things I know are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it sounds like fun.
Yeah. But South Central,
I had a big audition like 3 weeks ago, but who the fuck knows now?
yeah.
Who knows now, man?
What was
For
it? A
big
tape
show.
thing?
Yeah.
A tape thing? Yeah.
Yeah, for a big show, man.
Your
I was-
agent?
I
The
was
same.
very yeah.
This is not the Stranger Things agent, though, right?
Yeah, same
Oh, it
kind-
is.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Damn.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It was like 5 pages.
Nice.
You should get me some auditions.
It was for a show that we used to watch when we were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, little short segmented horror shorts.
The Hitchhiker.
Nope.
Hey, you know,
Tales from the
there's
Dark
something
Side.
I wish I could,
Almost.
There's
Tales
something I
from the
wish I
Crypt.
could talk about.
What?
Tales from the Crypt. Creep
There you
Show.
go. Yep, there it is.
Fuck yeah.
They're remaking it.
Well, yeah, Creep Show. They
Yeah,
already have the
dude,
first season.
They've sent me like, I think I've had 6 auditions for that show. Different evil characters.
Nice.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
who
the
knows?
first
Maybe
season's
I'll get
on
one.
Shudder.
Maybe after this shit's all over, they'll be like, "Yo, by the way, we meant to tell you 6 months ago. You got this role. We're gonna start shooting tomorrow."
Sweet.
Yeah.
So I can't say which one, but I guess I could say part of this story. I got a call from a major movie. Well, I got a call from the production team for a major film that's coming out that wanted to use a clip from Child's Play 2 in the movie, and I had to sign off rights for them to
nice.
use that clip in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's a big one. It's a big movie.
Bad
So,
Boys 4.
I can't confirm or deny, but that's not it. But it's a big movie. And,
Is it a horror film?
I don't even want to go anywhere with it. Except, first of all, it might not even happen. So when this comes out later, it might not even.
Just
be
tell
there,
me,
but-
tell me off the air because I won't forget this. It's
All
gonna
right.
drive me nuts.
All right, maybe I'll tell you off the air. Maybe. It's a good one though. It's a good one. It's
Are we
exciting.
even
I hope it
homies?
happens.
Oh,
We are,
dude, it's
we
gonna
are,
be
but hey,
Stranger.
when I get when
is
I
it Stranger
when I'm
Things
told,
season 4?
No. When I'm told a secret, I keep it. So, what else is going on? So South Central is a comedy.
Sorry, right. So
it's a comedy show that Joe wrote
Yep.
and shot down here,
And I get
they're
to
gonna
star
they're gonna
in.
be in short 2-minute clips.
yeah,
right?
2 to 4 minutes. You know, as a series. The whole goal was I was trying to get into Netflix to pitch it. You know, I have a good friend of mine who works there, and she was working really hard on getting us in, and we finally got to a point to where it looked like it was going to happen, and then this fucking virus broke out.
Yeah.
And so I was supposed to fly out to L.A. About a month ago for a meeting. And now that looks like it's going to be pushed to like October, November, and I don't want to sit on it for another year,
Yeah.
So the goal is to get it out. So I was like, well, man, a really funny thing is that I started on public access in 1995. Why not put this on public access? Basically YouTube is public access. So I was like,
yeah,
you know
these
what?
days.
I said, let's just do YouTube. And so I got with Lucas Schatzberg, who's our editor, and I said, let's just cut these down to 2 to 3, 4-minute episodes. And we released the whole first episode as a season. And it'll work. And then when we're done with that, the following week, we release the whole episode, which will be the little episodes you'll be missing a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when you get to watch the full episode, you'll see little things that we cut out. So it'll be a little longer, interesting.
Cool.
And then I got a bunch of behind the scenes we'll release after that. So if people really get interested in getting
It's certainly,
involved
yeah,
in
exactly. It's like, it's a pilot.
It's
in
12
itself.
weeks at least of entertainment, for a couple minutes anyways.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get a following. Maybe someone will like it, or maybe people will hate it and they'll be like, "This show's fucking
Whatever. It was.
Yeah, if
it
you
was
put it
fun
on
to do
YouTube, then I
anyway.
can share it on my Facebook finally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll all do that. We'll all share it.
So
It's called South of Central, and it's
Yeah.
about a really cute child actor who grew into an overweight, underachieving piece of shit. And my question is, who was your inspiration for this?
Nobody.
Oh.
Actually, Alex, it wasn't.
think, huh?
It wasn't. You weren't my inspiration. it just manifested because I only had certain areas I knew I could shoot, like my garage. I was like, well, we'll just put someone in the garage, and I liked that idea of him being a child actor, but like before the 80s.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
shitty westerns, and
Yeah.
he's just this. He's like fucking Burt Ward.
Yeah, he's not me. I get it.
Yeah. But then it's
Chauncey Davis.
great. Yeah, so it's like
I did some of the
Dracula.
ADR on it. And,
Yeah, well, without you, we wouldn't have
on Johnny
the
cracks me
ADR
up.
and everything. So, and the music and stuff, but your involvement it just for me it solidifies the whole universe because I want people to come to watch you play yourself but differently.
Yeah.
And I think that
It was fun. We had a fun day.
And if
doing
we get picked up or someone really likes it and it does really well, maybe we can bring in other actors in, to be themselves,
Yeah.
and do this.
Well, let's see how it goes. Maybe we'll, come up with an arc for it and write some stuff for it.
Yeah, I have a pretty decent idea where I want, where I want the father figure to be and what happens with him and where I want Chauncey to be and, all
The
this
concept's pretty perfect for this show, actually.
Yeah.
Like with all the nostalgia that people are having these days from,
Yeah.
say, the 80s, 70s. That works pretty well.
The
Yeah.
one thing I wish I had shot is a flashback scene with a younger version of myself on a set for some show where it's like him talking to the camera, and we could have made it black and white, and I could have put it in as like a bumper, between episode bumper or something, So the goal now is when we get out and we're allowed to shoot, first thing I'm gonna do is a flashback scene.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
have it.
Yeah.
Well,
It's fun. It's fun. I like what we did. Mikey, you had a great cameo in it as well.
I had a blast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun. I look forward to that. What else is going on with you guys then besides
it.
this stuff?
Avoiding the COVID.
Learning how to work out at home more, watching tons of movies. Glad I got that free subscription to Shudder. That was pretty cool. They actually have some fun stuff on there, so I was enjoying that.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
been a lot of interesting content that we can get into and start talking about.
Pornhub's free right now, too.
Is it?
It's
A
always
premium.
free.
That's what I heard,
was
anyway.
free, yeah. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to take a short break, and then we're going to talk about some other things in the world.
Sweet.
I recorded the song that opens up the show today was this record from Denny Dwyer, who was on one of the earlier episodes, the second episode, I think. He recorded and mixed and he recorded and he played. I recorded, mixed, and mastered his record last year, and that was like 14 songs that came out real good. We've been working on another 13. That was one of those. And with the lyric "close to you," I thought it was appropriate because we're all trying to get close to you at this point. And then Uzi Dre, local hip hop artist who was on the show, also has come into the studio. For the most part, I can still record people. I mean, I have a live room and a control room, and we don't really have to be near each other. So I'm trying to keep things going.
I'm like 15 feet from you right now.
Yeah, we're spread out.
Yeah.
Mike is in the other room. I can't even see him.
No.
He's like...
Well, you just need to hear his delicious voice.
Yeah. But Uzi still comes in and has a blast and smokes out this studio like crazy. Every time he comes here...
Let me know next time he's coming.
He smoked like a quarter ounce last time. But yeah, this is called Welcome to the Ghetto. We'll be back in a few minutes. And are you still going to be here, Joe?
We should put that. I'm going to take off, but we should put that song in South of Central. Welcome to the Ghetto.
Welcome to the Ghetto? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be fine with that.
Yeah, I'm going to text him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Joe Davison's taken off.
Thanks,
I'm going to be
guys.
hanging out
I
with
love
Mikey
everybody.
Wells. This is Welcome to
I
the
wanna
Ghetto.
love you.
And we'll be right back. Hold on. There you go.
Pour out a little liquor and blow a lot of weed smoke. Pour out a little liquor. Pour out a little liquor and blow a lot of weed smoke. For all the dead homies who's dead for going for broke. Don't take the street life for a joker. Think the ghetto life's funny. We thuggin' motherfucker, oh yeah. And we shootin' for the money. Cause cash rules everything around me, homie. Straight up, drug dealing, robbing, and thieving's how the ghetto nigga come up. Fool is so much stress in this life of ghetto drama. Crooked cops are quick to cover up the murder of a nigga. The hunger gets bigger and the nigga surviving off crumbs. Living check to check, oh yeah. I'm one step from the bumps. Born and raised in the slums. But I'm like a blood diamond. My soul shines even though I'm from a dirty blend. I can send the goons at ya or put in work myself. Understand we down for whatever. When it calls for the wealth, a slimy bitch could be bad for your health, so don't trust her. Cause all over pussy you could end up with a maker, nigga. Welcome to the ghetto, ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto, ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto ward. Welcome to the ghetto, ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto, ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto zone. Welcome to the ghetto, ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto, ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto ward. Welcome to the ghetto, ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto, ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto zone. Welcome to the ghetto. Every day we eating canned goods. Mostly everything sports the tattoos of their hoods. The dope fiends look like the dead walking. They're mostly dying from the needles or the crack smoking. The ghetto children playing in the streets with stray bullets. So if they make it up to 12, they're labeled war vets. People placing bets on who's the next to die or go to prison. Cause poverty is the reason for a bad decision. Mothers crying in the ghetto cause the streets took the babies. The average little lady starts turning tricks for the money. Poverty don't have remorse for any sex or race. We're searching for a way out, but can't find a trace. In the ghetto, the church is where we find our peace. All the burdens on the souls where it all released. We drink a lot of liquor to wash the pain away. Cause every day we shed tears while I stay and we pray hard. Welcome to the ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto. What a lot of liquor. Welcome to the ghetto. Blow a lot of weed. Welcome to the ghetto. What a lot of liquor. Welcome to the ghetto. Blow a lot of weed smoke. Welcome to the ghetto. What a lot of liquor. Welcome to the ghetto. Blow a lot of weed smoke. Listen as I take you on a mental journey. You can picture what poverty and drug abuse has people praying to the maker for better days and nights. Cause every day is a struggle. Even little children's taking part in a man's hustle. Injustice is a storm that won't settle. So it's a gloomy situation. Racist cops to judges, sending innocent people to prison. So my mission is simply to make my money and stay free. But penitentiary chances only job that's paying me. Before I be another statistic in the ghetto that didn't make it. For the money, I'm against the biggest criminal law, breaking it. The reverend's teaching the words of the Lord every Sunday. But every Friday and Saturday, sleeping with the deacons lady. The congregation's talking about one another undercover. Then have the nerve to say, may God bless you, sister and brother. Blame it on the lust, the greed and the dollar for the reason we fall. When you're living in the ghetto, you desire it all. Welcome to the ghetto. Hey, hey. Pour out a lot of liquor. Welcome to the ghetto. And blow a lot of weed smoke. Welcome to the ghetto. Pour out a lot of liquor. Welcome to the ghetto. And blow a lot of weed smoke. Welcome to the ghetto. Pour out a lot of liquor. Welcome to the ghetto. And blow a lot of weed smoke. Welcome to the ghetto. Welcome to the ghetto. And blow a lot of weed smoke.
Boom.
All right.
Boom.
Welcome to the ghetto. Yeah, that was fun. That's fun. All right, so we're back. It's just me and Mikey. Gonna hang out for a little bit and
Social
bullshit some
distancing
more.
ourselves in other rooms.
We're totally in separate rooms. I'm glad I get to do that. Oh wait, shit! I gotta pull that down. Sorry for the feedback there.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so a little off our game. Haven't done this in a while. It was
No, it's
fun.
all good.
We did it a bunch. For those who don't know, although I assume anyone here probably does know. I don't know that we've been reaching out to make new fans, but we did 21 episodes last year, and they were fun. We had live music on all of them. We had horror celebrity guests.
I mean, I've been having a blast since we've been doing these. It's been a while, though, so
Yeah,
that's sad.
yeah, it is.
Something I
Well,
definitely
now
look forward to.
things have just been made difficult, for
yeah.
everybody. I think we could do this, especially with calling people and stuff. Maybe we'll find some time to do this. It depends, I guess, how strict the roads get. They actually just enforced the statewide lockdown, I guess you want to call it, shelter at home in place, stay at home. Just the other night, like midnight, 2 days ago.
Some of that's driving me a little batty, though, because I kind of like going on drives at night.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't know. I don't think there's a consequence in place if they pull you over and your answer doesn't justify their question. Like if they say, "Where are you going?" and you're like, "Nowhere. I'm just driving around." Can they?
Well, that
I don't see how that could be a problem.
yeah,
but-
that is the question I have for a lot of this. Like, there's the little channel walk over in Tampa, and I love doing that at night because there's no one fucking out.
Yeah.
So that's generally when I get that type of cardio exercise in, and if they're trying to have some sort of curfew, that really just fucks with me a little bit.
What's that expression about something in the details? Like
Devil's in the details.
Yeah, because I think that's really what people need. They need to know specifically what is okay and what's not.
Yeah, that's where a lot of this is becoming an issue, I think.
Yeah. And where it could potentially become an issue, which is really how I'm seeing most of this, is our current situation is bad. It's really bad. But I think the fear that people have and the apprehension about all of this is kind of the no end in sight part of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely,
you never know. I mean, we've fought wars that have lasted years and years and years. Like, it's hard to tell where this could go. But you gotta-
the longer it goes, the worse it's going to get. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Social issues, anyway. A lot of things are going to get a little crazy. I don't know what kind of predictions I'd want to make on it, though.
You would think that the social distancing that's taking place has got to have a pretty profound effect on the speed of transfer in this, though.
Yeah.
If everybody was still doing everything they did in the beginning of March right now, I think there's no question we'd be in a much worse place. So, yeah, it sucks that people, especially, internet troll people, which were probably, wearing a mask and gloves and just giving people a hard time to be assholes on the internet. But it seems that, like, there is a subsector of people that just don't want to buy the hype and, just don't agree with everything they're being told. I guess that comes back to the horrible situation of, not believing anything you're told ever.
Yeah. I understand a lot of that. This actually kind of just, I suppose I was a bit enlightened just on how alone I've been for so long with as far as the social life goes, because not that much has really changed besides going to work.
Yeah.
Now I'm just alone at home, or going to the gym. It's not like I'm going there with a crowd of people anyway. All of these things I tend to do, activity-wise, tend to go on at night, which is why I had like an anytime gym membership, so I could go there, at 11 o'clock at night when no one else was there.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is the same is absolutely true for me. I haven't, my life hasn't, except for the conventions and the travel, and which not to mention means income that I've lost. But besides that, just the travel and going into airports and going to different cities and stuff like that. Outside of that, I never do anything anyway. My life hasn't changed. I'm home and at the studio all the time. The only difference is I don't stop at the gas station every drive down. I'm not stopping for fast food, but that's a good thing. So,
yeah, no, I get that for sure. I haven't actually eaten fast food or restaurant food in a few weeks now. I started doing that before this got a little more serious anyway.
Yeah, I haven't either, honestly.
But I really like cooking at home, so I've been having fun making my own bread and everything. Got really good at challah loaf.
Really?
Yeah.
And what is that?
That is the bread of my people. It's a Jewish bread.
Yeah, but say it again.
Challah.
Oh, loaf was the second part of
Challah
it?
loaf.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's a CH.
Yeah. I guess, another weird part about this is, like, I would love to eat your bread, but nobody trusts anybody anymore. It's like it's all a first date with someone sketchy, It's like you don't know.
I'll make you some bread when this is all
Yeah.
over. It's my bread.
It's your bread. All right, I'm looking forward to it.
It's amazing with French toast. I had read that, and it is. You'll have the best French toast with this bread. It's super good.
All right, so we might as well talk about the most important thing in people's lives right now, Tiger King.
Yes.
I saw it. I thought they were all pieces of shit.
Yes.
Like, I didn't see anyone redeeming at all in that whole thing.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a show of awful people. It just kind of reminded me of like Honey Boo Boo, but tigers.
yeah, it really was. Like I couldn't get on like team this, team that. I thought everyone sucked. Like,
yeah.
in different ways, but they were all terrible.
Yeah.
I guess some of the memes have been worth it. The public hysteria over this show.
Some important things that I have some firsthand knowledge of. I live pretty close
You do
to Alpine Liquor and Nebraska Avenue.
Yeah.
So that whole part of the story where she had to go on a walk down Nebraska. Now, that said, I did not live there in 1981. I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah.
But I promise you, anyone walking those streets at night is a fucking hooker.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
not that there's anything wrong with that. I just think it's goddamn hysterical.
Yeah. No, I lived over in that area for about a year. So yeah, I'm aware. But yeah, people were just going nuts about that show.
Oh, it's
it
dropped at just
some
the
friends
right
of
time.
mine. I notice every time they post, it has something to do with it. I have to look for the mustache on someone or something like it. Somehow it all comes back to that show lately.
I don't. Okay, well, let's talk about that. Actually, like, I don't think it's particularly good. I think the success of that show has a lot to do with people having nothing else to watch right now, and it dropped on just the right day.
It's probably going to happen with everything that comes out now that people are excited about. The excitement's going to be at another level because, there's much less to do.
Yeah, something to just drown the rest of the world away with. I get that. I totally get that.
Well, what else have you been watching then?
Ooh, I got a few movies under my belt recently. Dr. Sleep I thought was fantastic. We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, we did. I'm gonna grab my water.
Grab your water.
Dr. Sleep. I love The Shining. It's probably arguably my favorite horror film. And this just was a little too supernatural for me, I guess. It just expanded on that more than I was ready for. I didn't read the book.
I think that's kind of interesting. the entire premise for The Shining is pretty supernatural. Like,
It is. I mean, it is,
Danny
and it's
seeing
not. It's not
ghosts.
that. It wasn't necessarily the concept of The Shining itself, but like, it just opened up more things with other characters that I wasn't kind of expecting, I guess, and it just felt like it went a different direction than I thought it was going to, and it had a different feel than I expected.
Okay.
But I mean, I only watched it once, so at some point I'll probably get a chance to strengthen my opinion in either direction. But
I definitely want to watch it again. Doctor Sleep. I've seen The Shining many times. I actually saw the made-for-TV movie a couple times also, which I liked. Some people didn't. I think the plot for The Shining has just mostly, obviously, to do with isolation, which could be, I suppose, relevant right now. People watching that and just dealing with being stuck at home a lot, maybe going a little crazy.
yeah,
The stuff that they're dealing with in Doctor Sleep is different, very much. The way it's going about the story, it takes place over a number of years. You get, to view Danny a few more times in his childhood, and then there's a scene where he's, I would assume, in his 30s, and then it pops to early 40s, something to that effect.
mm-hmm. Yeah. It was okay. I saw it too. I liked that. I thought that was good. I'm interested in that movie, The Hunt. I didn't see that yet. Did you?
No, I haven't seen The Hunt.
So that film and The Invisible Man they put on like just because people can't go to the movie theater anymore. So it's $20 to rent it at home. You set up your own movie experience, which
I did watch
instead
The
of dropping
Invisible Man.
$50 at the movie theater. I'm I have a little surround sound going. My TV is pretty big. It's comfortable on my couch. I have all my food there. I can smoke weed there. Like I've always been a little more inclined to watch things at home anyway. So
Yeah.
I think it's a cool move. I didn't see either yet. What did you?
I watched The Invisible Man.
How was it?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Like, they did a really
I loved
good
the
job.
trailer. I thought it looked really good.
It is.
Yeah.
There's, how do I want to say this? It's more horror thriller, I suppose. I like the use, I'll say, of technology in it. I think it's
Yeah.
really good. The direction that they went with it was pretty fun, I think.
Yeah, was that Chevy Chase movie and The Invisible Man?
Memoirs of the Invisible Man.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
that was like,
It was comedy.
yeah, it was a total different direction from it. But was it always kind of supposed to be hard? I guess there was an older version before that, even, right?
Yeah. There's a bunch of different versions of.
Because
The
this is
Invisible
dark.
Man.
Like the trailer looks dark. At least I'm looking forward to
It
seeing
is.
it. Yeah,
It's good. There's I'm trying to think the best way to describe some of this. You're following the lead through the movie and watching everyone around her just think that she's crazy. So that's the biggest part of the plot. Like, what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, earlier on in the film. And you just watch her like tiptoe around everyone and try her best to describe it, and she just sounds mentally ill.
that sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
Right? I think I did something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that in The Hunt. It seems interesting. I don't know. It's a bunch of like liberal elites that send people off like the Dangerous Game and hunt them in their property or something.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for that. It looked all right.
Yeah,
Looked fun, anyway.
yeah. There was a movie that I saw a while back called "I'm Just Fucking with You." Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
yeah. I
That
love,
was,
I love that movie.
That was a year ago, right? It came out for April Fools,
Did it?
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
On Hulu.
Yeah, I got to talking to the director, who was a cool guy. But I think one of those same actors that was in that is in this one too.
Oh,
cool.
cool.
I think I might be wrong.
Yeah, I thought.
Oh no, I
Just
am
Fucking With You
wrong.
was
I was
pretty good.
I'm thinking about a different movie. These Hulu movies are always a little bit off kilter. They're like different than Netflix movies. They have like a weird vibe to them.
I think some are better than others, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Some of them I thought were just downright kind of cheap and
Awful.
shitty,
Yeah,
yeah.
And The Platform, people are talking about. The Platform is this film on, it's in Spanish and it's on Netflix. Did you see any of that? Did you see the trailer
The
for it?
Platform?
Yeah, The Platform.
I think it's German.
No, I think it's Spanish. I think so.
Disagree.
Well, maybe. Yeah, I don't remember. I didn't see it.
I watched it.
Oh, you did watch it?
Yeah.
Oh, then you would know better than me. Is it worth watching? Because it looks kind of
It's
nuts.
It's a pretty tired plot. It's not particularly good, I don't think.
It's kind of like The Cube kind of thing. Like,
I think the message anyway, Snowpiercer is it's kind of got like the same message behind it. There's like, hierarchy of people and that type of thing.
yeah,
It gets a
okay.
little boring in The Platform, I thought.
Yeah,
But it is also very similar to The Cube. Both Snowpiercer and The Cube are better.
yeah. I love those Cube movies. I found that on a stone night and in a weird mood, and watched that for the first time. It was trippy as hell.
Yeah, the first Cube movie I watched like 98, maybe 99, somewhere around there. I thought it was great.
Yeah, me too.
And I watched all the sequels, Cube Zero, all that. I thought it was really fun.
So what do you think the next big obsession for the country is going to be?
Besides like Netflix, like on
That's
Netflix,
what I mean.
is that what
Yeah,
you're asking?
like a Netflix or an upcoming anything. What's going to be the next thing? The next Tiger King?
I mean, I don't think I've looked at the list of what all.
Or is he
dropping.
really the king? Is he the Tiger King? Is he going to hold this throughout this whole year?
I fucking hope not.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Goddamn. Yeah, I could try and look through a list while you're talking real quick, see what else is coming to Netflix. Make
Yeah, some of these
predictions.
documentaries always kind of get people excited these days. When
Yeah.
it's a good documentary. I started one about a lab where they test drugs and some woman stealing drugs, like a whole bunch for years, I guess. And it was okay. It was a little dry. I stopped watching it. I'm telling you, I've been watching these survival shows. I was thinking about that Doomsday Preppers show, but I don't think I want to go there yet. I don't think the situation is that dire yet. But
Well, I mean, you're a little late to the game if you're.
I
Are you
am.
talking about doing
I'm
it
way
yourself or
late to
just
the
watching
game.
it?
No, I'm just watching it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm late to the game on both fronts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I really just want a submarine with a helicopter attached to it, and like it's like a boat that has a submarine and a helicopter, and then I think you have your best chance of getting away from everything.
Yeah, that's a whole lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a lot. It's a lot. I admit.
I mean, be careful what you're watching. Watch The Road if you really
The
wanna-
Road?
If you really want to get sad.
Oh, is it sad?
Oh yeah. That's got the kind of post-apocalypse down.
Oh, okay.
Very bleak.
For some reason, maybe this is. I bet I'm not the only one doing this. But during this, I've been enjoying watching these movies. Like I watched Outbreak again.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching like pandemic and apocalyptic movies.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know why. We're sick fucking
Was it-
people. Why are we inspired to watch shit like that in a terrible time like this?
I don't know. Hoping that I can sum it up and get answers for you. Maybe I rewatched Outbreak a couple weeks ago. Have you seen
Yeah.
Contagion?
No, but I want to.
Yeah,
I hear
watch
it's
that
really
one.
good.
That one's a little bit closer to what's going on.
All right, that's the one we're gonna watch. That
A bit more bleak, I suppose, too, because people are like, you get it, you die in that movie. So there's not like a survival rate. Like
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
get it, you die. So you have to like
I
everyone's
think I'd be in
isolated.
pretty bad shape if I get this. I think it'd be really bad for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. I think
my lungs are probably not in great shape at all.
Oh, my lungs are definitely not in great shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you there. But I'm pretty sure if you're like eating trenbolone sandwiches on the reg, like I am,
Oh, that's the key.
yeah, definitely.
Reminds me of George Carlin. Get yourself a bowl of broccoli. A cauliflower that kills the big cancers,
Yeah,
the ones you can see from space. He is the best.
Yeah, Carlin definitely has a lot of that down.
Yeah.
I've had some friends trying to get me to watch Mark Maron more, but I don't know. Like, I think he tries to be Carlin, but isn't as good.
Yeah, I hear that in a lot of people sometimes. I actually thought that on Tom Segura's new special. I thought he was trying to do some Carlin type material, and it didn't really work for me.
Yeah, I only got like halfway through that special.
There were a couple specials recently that I was disappointed with. I thought the Pete Davidson one sucked,
Yeah, I haven't even watched that one.
and I've seen his stand up previously. It was actually really pretty funny, so I had higher hopes. Didn't really dig that one. I didn't watch the Burt one yet.
Bert Kreischer. I
Yeah.
watched that one. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's it's like silly dad jokes type of shit though.
What was the other one? There was another big one right before that. After Chappelle's, there was another one that was significant, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't think of it off the top of my head either.
Yeah, I don't know. That's another thing. The comedy business, they got nothing going on. You know, creative people are in a big problem right here. People that, you know, go out there and work gigs, like gig jobs. Every gig job is dead.
Oh yeah. No.
There's
absolutely.
no gigs.
I think a lot of the content's going to be more or less doing what we're doing now and going online,
Yeah.
asking for donations, I suppose.
Yeah, that's
Seems to be
so
the
tough,
thing.
you know, like asking people for donations, like in a time when you know that they don't have anything either. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you and I can
I
get
mean,
an
some people do,
OnlyFans.
obviously. Yeah, we could get an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it.
I'll stretch my butthole out for money, I guess.
I guess that's the route you'd have to go. And for me, you know, I could probably get some attention that way.
Stretching your butthole out?
Yeah, yeah, that
We'll
would
do
work.
it on the internet.
That's what I'm saying. All these, wow.
I need to get an
I don't think
acoustic guitar.
times aren't quite that desperate yet. Luckily,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
okay.
I think we're gonna be all right. Keeping the studio open is gonna be tough. I got a couple projects that I'm working on still, but they're gonna dry up, and then I got to see if people are still trying to be creative and if the state continues to. I mean, I guess technically I'm not supposed to be doing this because it's not an essential job, but I'm not being dumb about it. Like, I don't have contact with people. Like, they're in a separate room. Mikey's in a separate room from me right now. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in 3 months. I didn't give him a handshake. Didn't give him a hug.
Yep, we've been staying
You know?
probably
I mean,
at least
it's-
6 feet apart most of the time.
Yeah.
Got a little close to
You-
you when
you
I showed
gotta-
you my phone.
Yeah, a little bit, but
Yeah.
I held my breath, so
Yeah.
we're all good. Yeah, yeah. I think I don't know, man. You think that if everybody gets the message and everybody does this, there could be an end in sight to this. You know, it's going to get ugly for a while, but you got to think the worse it gets, the more everyone is going to come around to taking this seriously.
Well, sure. Depending on what goes on with this social distancing and quarantining yourselves, there's it could die down. Definitely, it's supposed to pop back up in the fall, September, something like that. They were saying
We wouldn't be ready if it did.
September is the fall.
It seems like we're not going to be ready for a while for this. But hey, it's horrible, you know. And not to really bring down what we were trying to make a little lighthearted today, but the most devastating part of this to me is that, you know, when someone that you love comes down with this, they get swept away into a quarantined hospital that you're not allowed to visit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to say goodbye. When they leave, you don't even know how serious it's going to be. And then that's it. They don't come home. You got to worry if you are going to be have the same fate. It's really a remarkable thing that's happening. That's, it's, you know, it's
You're not wrong, homie.
scary and sad. And that's tough to keep yourself, you know, optimistic and motivated. But there's got to be an end to this. I mean, the mortality rate is low enough that it's not going to be a plague and kill the majority of people in this country. But the question is, when can things go back to, you know, what we're used to?
Business as usual.
Yeah, and April 30th does not sound feasible in the least.
You don't think so?
No, I
don't
don't.
know.
That would be great.
I really don't know.
That would be great, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, this concept of flattening the curve, like, that's really what has to happen is more people have to start recovering than getting sick. And I don't
Sure,
know.
but those dates would work. The virus seems to go through people within 2 weeks. So
If people stopped fucking around now, yeah.
yeah, well, I mean that's another thing to discuss. Like, what is fucking around exactly? Going to the beach doesn't seem particularly crazy to me.
It doesn't if you're only getting close to the people that you that you live with. Like, if like small groups of people that live together go to the beach and stay away from everyone else. Yeah. But
I see people acting kind of
right,
crazy
right
about
now.
it.
It's like,
Do you know the effects of UV rays on a virus?
what are you saying, that the virus can't live at the beach?
Kills
Like,
every other virus that's ever been known to man.
yeah.
So I mean, I haven't
Well,
seen the science
possibly.
on it, but that's generally what UV light does. So
Yeah, I don't know. It might pass. The transmission might happen faster than that can.
that's
occur.
also a possibility. But
It's not in the air.
I don't have answers.
I
for any
I
of
think
these
the way it
things.
spreads for the most part is droplets from someone else, like a droplet up in the air. That, and I heard that you can get it from, like, off a material, but it is much less likely. Like, the chances are very reduced that you're going to get it that way. You can, and I think people are, but I don't think that is. I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea to wipe down your stuff. That's the other thing, is every precaution that you can take, you should take, even if it is ultimately completely unnecessary. The majority of what we'll be doing, it will be unnecessary, but you gotta take every precaution there is, and everybody has to do that, and that's the only way.
You're not wrong, exactly. I don't know. Like I'm a piercer by trade, so dealing with aseptic technique at work has been like my job for the past 20 years. So I've always been pretty cautious on what I touch with my hands.
Yeah,
and then of course, washing them all the time anyway.
yeah, sure.
So it's I don't know. It's kind of fun for me to just see everyone else start to do this.
Yeah, because you've always been doing it. Yeah.
Like I don't touch my face with like my hands. I touch it like sometimes with, like the back of my wrist if I have to like wipe sweat off my face or something like that. Like I
but
never touch my face.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you should go to Walmart and go, get all up in people's face right now either.
I'm not saying
Of
that.
course, of course. I'm saying, it's tough. There's so many unknowns about this whole fucking thing, and that's what's just so uncomfortable about it. I think if this were a clearly defined threat, that would be easier. I don't want to get all doom and glooming on people, because I do think that there will be a positive outcome at the end of this.
I certainly hope so, but
Yeah.
I've always been prepared for the zombie apocalypse anyway.
Yeah, I'm so unprepared. That's the other thing. I think
got your
so
AR-15?
I got nothing, dude. I don't have much. Yeah.
You're not stockpiling AR-15s like
I'm
me?
not, no.
Bro, you just ain't got it like that.
No, I don't. I'm in the state for it, but I don't. All right, I'm going to grab my water. Come
Grab
up with
your
something
water.
interesting to talk about. We're going to hang out for a few more minutes,
You're going to play a song and...
then we're going to take off. Yeah.
All right, well, we can talk about all kinds of silly stuff, homie. I'm trying to think of other more movies. If we had people on a list, or do we have like any live people discussing movies at all? Like I can't see.
No, you can't see.
because I'm in the other room.
You're in the other room. Yeah, you couldn't. That's not going to
Yeah.
work. These lists, though, I'll
I
tell
see
you.
the back of the monitor.
People are really getting carried away with these lists on Facebook. Yeah, I think that's the other thing I want to talk about is Facebook in general is just becoming intolerable for me. I don't know. I appreciate the people that are just trying to keep things interesting and different little fun things and stuff like that. But it's so much, people who don't really know answers, assuming that they do, to make these really strong points that it comes down to basically guesswork on their part. Yet they're so emphatic about their points, and this is just running rampant. It's just really hard to
There's a lot I disagree with on Facebook. Generally speaking, it's pretty
Yeah.
broad. The concept with say cancel culture, which is a big thing we've been dealing with for the past year, just people trying to call out everyone on everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't know when the fuck like being a goddamn tattletale became noble. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
I get it on some things. I totally get it. Like, oh, this person's a pedophile. I'll be like, well, there better be some facts there, dude. but just using words out of context, and like now with the current state of the quarantine, people are getting ready to call the cops on someone that's jogging. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely happening. I mean, that's fear that's leading people to crazy outcomes. I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's everything just feels amplified on Facebook to a point where, you know, I used to get up in the morning and sit in the back and smoke a couple cigarettes and scroll through and, like, you know, hate on 90% of the things that I read, like, and then I have to stop and think, wait, these people are my friends? Like,
Yeah.
what are my opinion of people that I don't even know? I mean, I guess in my case, I don't know most of the people on there, but yeah, it seems like boredom times fear times misinformation equals social media anarchy. You know.
Yeah. I actually lost a friend that I had for about 10 years recently, a Facebook friend, we'll say.
Yeah.
I've known this person for 10 years, and it was, I think it's kind of fucking hilarious. They were bitching and ranting about the stock market. And I don't know what your opinion is, Alex, on this, but I myself have used the stock market with my savings, and I made a pretty decent amount of money with it. So I was trying my best to educate someone that doesn't know enough about it, I suppose. They were just bitching about it and called me a capitalist pig.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, literally anyone who has money can put it in there.
Yeah.
And you can make money with your money, which is kind of cool.
I mean, it's kind of like also when, you know, people have a certain opinion about sports betting also, but you are taking risks with the amount of money that you're willing to take a risk with. And
yeah. There's
Yeah.
A risk to reward ratio you want to look at, definitely. Any of my friends, I've definitely helped out a bit with some knowledge when it comes to it. I didn't walk into using that. You can do it on your phone with a fucking app.
yeah, I know. I took a stab at it when things were better. Now I'm like broke, but when I had a few bucks, I tried for a bit. I thought I was going to make some money with the pot stocks, and I did a little bit. And then I
GW
got out
Pharmaceuticals
before they
going.
all went down. Like,
Yeah. I made some decent money with GW Pharmaceuticals. They were a big one.
but anyways, the point is, you got into an argument with this friend, and it got so bad that you can't. The friendship is over. You think?
Yeah. Deleted me,
Blocked.
and everything.
Yeah,
like
Facebook blocked over
Facebook
an
blocked
argument
me.
about something stupid
Yeah.
that you shouldn't have even.
after I was
been
called a
arguing about.
capitalist pig, and I was
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know. I was just
I
trying
know
to,
people.
like, tell her what
People
was what.
do kind of jump to like crazy conclusions on the internet sometimes, and I think people are just restless and they're bored and they're frustrated and cooped up in some cases. In a lot of cases, people, you know, for me, like I am home. Like that's what. So I don't really feel that kind of suffocation, which is good because I am like claustrophobic in certain circumstances. So I'm glad that so far the isolation hasn't really dampened my mood, other than, you know, my awareness of what everyone else is going through. And that is tough for, I think, anyone who's empathetic in this situation, because it's really horrible. You know, death is scary in and of itself, but when it's under like the possibility of a really shitty, untimely way to go because of some virus, like it's a lot for people to handle.
Yeah, you're correct there.
Yeah,
It's all wacky, man.
it's all wacky and sad. So we really do have to just kind of focus on, first of all, being optimistic and thinking that we will come out on top of this, because chances are very, very good that we will, and things will go back to normal. We don't know when, but we got to just stay vigilant about it. Do the things that you're supposed to do. Keep your distance from people. Don't take big chances. Wash your hands a lot. I think if wearing masks becomes the new norm right now, which is, I guess, what they're talking about recently. Why am I getting like a
I want to
reflection
play
of
Dr.
sound in here?
Mask so bad.
Yeah, I mean, just do the things that we're supposed to do right now. That's the only way through this. So,
Alex, you and I should come up with a yeehaw goth country music album.
yeah, can we make that
Definitely.
happen?
We should make that happen. You have all the things in here to do it.
I do.
Why
That's
not?
true. Yeah, why
I
not?
don't.
I do, as someone who is creative, I do feel like I've always talked about quarantining myself in a creative environment, and I do feel
You literally have it here.
I have that going on, and there's no reason not to right now.
But
So
I don't know how to play the
but-
guitar.
Well, I don't know how to play the guitar, but that doesn't mean I can't make music. I just can't perform it, really.
Let's make some dubstep, bro. Let's do this.
I can make all kinds of shit, man. I got some really cool things in here.
Yeah, we need to come do this, man. Let's. You got a bunch
Yeah.
of poetry and stuff. Let's make some songs.
All right, we'll do it. You want to come spend some time doing it? We might as well.
I have a lot of time.
We have a lot of time.
right
We all
now.
have a lot of time. I think it's a good time for anyone who, I think it's a balance. Like, because this is a great time to be creative, but at the same time, it's a tough time to be motivated.
Mm.
So I think there's got to be a happy medium in that where you can, get everything situated to where when things do get better, you'll be ready for it, and be able to put yourself back in a position of hope and strength, and so it's going to be a tricky and interesting period of time that we don't know how long that'll last.
Yeah. Well, April 30th. It's over. We all know that now, right?
Yeah, that's what they say. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
They couldn't be wrong.
They could. They know everything, right?
They know everything. Duh.
But we're not supposed to believe anything they say. So that's a shitty situation.
I'm just gonna that one.
Yeah. So
Got all the answers.
I think that we will maybe try to do the podcast again. I figured it's been a long time. It was a nice time to kind of catch up and let you know what we're up to for those of you out there that give a shit or wanted some distraction out of your day today. But
Yeah, let's take votes.
I think we'll do it. I just got to figure out exactly what we're gonna do.
We should sit down and live stream us watching fucking Child's Play or something.
No, that sounds awful.
I know. Everyone's going to talk shit. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
How are you possibly having a bad time with any of this? It's amazing.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's right.
I'll consider it.
We'll think about it. Well, or how about we watch movies that don't star you? That would be fun.
That would be better. I'd be more comfortable with that, probably.
Other child stars that so we can just fucking troll them.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
That sounds like a good way to spend our time.
Just the ones you don't like. Let's watch some. Oh, you still haven't watched Lord of the Rings, have you?
No. I don't know about a 3-hour podcast of me just shitting on that film. I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe I end up loving it. Then I got a big problem.
I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It did
I
pretty well at the
think I
box
saw the
office.
first one. It was just, I don't know. Not into the big, epic, crazy fantasy worlds.
You want to watch Radio Flyer with me?
No, I don't. I auditioned for that.
How about North?
No, didn't audition for that one. But I did audition for Radio Flyer.
How about The Good Son?
I auditioned for both roles.
It'll be excellent. What was that other one? Forever Young?
Yeah, I auditioned for that as well.
Sweet. All right. I'm trying
Avalon.
To go through Avalon. I don't think I watched that one.
I booked that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good grief.
I'm pretty sure they gave it to him, and I'm not even positive. I think so.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one, so I don't know.
Yeah. So I think we'll figure out. I do have some more friends in this horror world, so we can call them and chat, and maybe I could get musicians to come in here and do stuff isolated in the isolation room. I mean, I know a lot of people are interested in live streaming things right now, so maybe we'll do something like that. I got a couple projects at the studio, and then I don't know how good it's going to be after that, so I'm going to have nothing but time by then.
Yeah, let me know what's going on, dude. We can try to figure something out. It'll be fun.
All right. I think, no one's even listening to us, but that's okay. We had fun.
Everyone gets to listen to our basically like a phone call, like some friends catching up over a couple months.
Yeah. Someone real stoned one day will find it on YouTube and listen to this and be like, wow, they were fucking miserable around COVID-19. Shit.
The levels of boredom just peaked.
Yeah. All
So
right, guys.
If we had a goth country music album, what would we title it?
That definitely deserves some thought.
So next week, kids.
All right. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll come back here soon. I didn't really announce this in advance. We just kind of hopped on today, and maybe we'll do something like that, or maybe we'll set a schedule and start doing it again. We'll see.
Yeah, and let's check out Joe's show tomorrow night.
Yeah, South of Central. I think you can find it on YouTube, or just search Joe Davison. I'm sure it'll come up somewhere.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope everybody can cheer up and be in a better mood. It's awful and it sucks. But we got to stay strong and do our best, and we'll get past this like we have many other things. So I'm going to leave you with a collection of sounds you might enjoy. All right. See you guys.
Later, guys.